Good or evil, heroes or villains?
Hey.
Hey, hi.
Let's see where he might be. He had definitely issues to find bandwidth, right?
Yeah, I know. I need to pay. I think my phone has enough charge. I can do that while we wait. Did I say $100 or something, wasn't it?
Mm.
And then Kaka as well. Can you check? Yeah, 100. And then Kaka is whatever. Do you use these biometrics
No,
or your phone to log in and stuff?
no. I go password.
Same here. I always think, you know, I started realizing that actually that makes you really exposed, right?
Yeah, fucking hell. What happens if all of a sudden you take a knock and your nose swells up, you know?
Well, it's not just that. What happens if you fall asleep and someone can just take it, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's like lots of things that can go wrong. But most of all, it's like your actual biometrical face is supposed to stay unchanged, but it's not. There are lots of things that can happen to you that actually changes it. You can get stung by a bee, get massive swelling or whatever. You can have an allergic reaction to something, you swell up. Just the fact that you're, you know, bloated from whatever water retention in your face. I don't want to have the hassle of it saying, no, it's not you.
Yeah. I was just more concerned about how people can easily access your stuff these days because, you know, all of these things, the convenience of it just simply means that actually it's more convenient for everyone else to.
Yeah, of course it is. The same, I mean, when you have fingerprint, Jesus Christ, it's like you're asleep, someone just takes your phone and fingerprints it, and then they can go on a shopping spree. It's like, plus you have the additional problem is, again, what happens if you have an accident and your fingerprints get scratched or whatever, and it says no, and I can't access?
That's a real issue with the kind of more advanced biometrics in a way, because you can't refute it.
No.
It becomes like, yeah, but the file says you are that person.
Yeah.
And it's like, really?
Absolutely. It's a really, really big issue, right? So, you know, Sweden is, well, it was one of the first countries to introduce your identity code, right? So you have a 10 digit long number that identifies you, that is totally unique to you.
Yeah.
So the first 6 are your birthday. So I'm 67 or 712. And then I have 4 digits afterwards that are unique to me. The first one is a denominator of which area you were born in Sweden. So if you're foreign born, like my dad was, then you start with a 9, but I'm a 0 because that's Stockholm. Then your second and third digit is basically the numerical of how many children were born on that day in that area, where even numbers are women and odd numbers are men. And the fourth number is basically a control digit achieved through a formula of the first 9.
So there's like it's not a random thing.
No. The fourth digit you can calculate if you have the formula. And I know one of the tests they had at Maths at university is to back validate the formula. It's quite complex, but it's not hard if you know how to do it. You're given the input basically.
Yeah.
And that number you should guard, obviously, because it's you. Now, I happen to be a big fan of it because it gains you big access to everything, and it's specifically you. So the same thing, with your pension in Sweden, right?
Yes.
15 years ago, they introduced the new legislation. This is my number. This is my pension pot, i.e. my state pension.
Yeah.
And a portion of the state pension you can allocate absolutely freely, provided the funds have passed the hurdle to be in the system. And the other half is basically administered to the AP funds. That's the buffer.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to be in the system, there are lots of wicked, hoops you need to go through. But people want to be in there because there's a lot of money available. And there is a lot of fee pressure. That's one of the things they look at. You can't overcharge for these things. The fee pressure is really, really low. But I have the right to trade it effectively. And if I enter my buy and sell order before noon on the day, and it is 11:59:59 that you push yes, I will trade on NAV at the close of the day.
Right.
In the UK, when I'm trying to do the same thing, first there's like fucking 20 days verification that you are the person applying, right? And then we'll effectuate the switch between 3 and 5 banking days. It's always the worst, right? Oh, you sold here on the Tuesday, right? In the fucking hole when the market tanked and I took 2% charge for getting out. I mean, you obviously opt for the Swedish model every single day. But there is one caveat. If someone actually breaks your number and passes the hoops in the system to become you have a real problem because they've cloned your identity.
Yes.
And I only know one person who's had their identity cloned. But fuck me, that is a proper problem, right? Because they are you, and everything they do, you become almost liable for. And then it's not Roman justice anymore. You're actually guilty and you need to prove that wasn't you, which is kind of reverse burden of proof.
Yeah.
And it's really rare.
These things are tricky.
Yeah, it's really, really rare. A journalist wrote an article a couple of years ago, and he said it's between 25 and 30 people a year who gets affected in Sweden. So it's given that there's 10 million people, the number is very, very low. But it is a real disaster for those 25 people. Because it just kills your life. Everything in your life is basically centered around the fact that someone out there is you in everything you do. And they can apply for loans, they can apply, for everything under the sun. And the only way to do it is basically kill that number and issue you with a new number, because they have the ability to do that. But the burden of proof for you to get there.
It's impossible. You can't destroy your own identity.
No.
No. It's it is these things that I look at and I think, it's all very convenient and very helpful, but at some point.
It is good on the whole, for sure, because it makes your life so easy. The same with your tax return, right? It's you. Sweden, you don't fill in a tax return.
You know what, Richard? Why don't we do this? If you've got time at the moment, why don't you just go and get changed? And I don't know when. Yeah, and we have to try to do this, get this done, get it out of the way before the next thing. Yeah.
I'll go and
I'm going to do this downstairs standing up. I'm going to try and do that because I think that's a better
really
thing.
Standing up. Ooh. Then you tend to move a little bit, though. You're not so centered on the screen.
I think that's okay, because if people see me as that, I think that's going to be okay. And I will stay standing because we're going to look at ourselves anyway. So we'll see how it goes. We'll try to do this so that we can.
Okay. Drop the latest version, please.
Yeah, that's good.
Because there were some changes made, right?
Yeah, but we're gonna try again. We're gonna learn it so that we don't need
absolutely
a version as such. So we may have notes to look up, as it were, and then if we can get this, what I'll do is I'm trying to get it translated. I dropped in Skype.
Perfect. Thank you.
By my goddaughter into French.
Yeah. Good. I got it.
So that we can have it for Congo, and we can start with playing it, and then we can go on a bit like that.
Yeah. Let me see where we are.
Yeah, I'm going to go downstairs. Kat is asking to help with wrapping up Amy's project. I want to compile some books. I don't know when I can have time to do that. I'll try and figure out. Okay.
Good.
You go get ready and I'll come
Daniel Helmer is logged on.
Daniel, really? Hi.
Yeah, but it's Morris.
Oh, hey, Morris. you understand you. Morris? Hi, dear.
Hi. Oh, are you going here?
Well, he's helping you wrap, right? You wrap. It's like a conversation. Morris, can you hear us?
It's frozen.
You are frozen. I think your connection is not great. Maybe we turn the video off and that might help.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, I think you're on the poor Wi-Fi. Good. I'm going to turn the video off. That may help your bandwidth.
Hello. Later, please.
Hey, hi. So, how are you doing there? Yeah. Oh, I see you've lost you again. That's and Daniel Helmer again. I borrowed his connection.
Can you hear me?
Now we hear you fine.
Yeah, now we hear you much better.
Yeah.
Wow. Finally, with the struggles I'm having here of internet. I'm sorry. This is not Daniel Helmer.
Yeah, no, we can recognize it.
I was a bit surprised when I saw the name logging on, but that's okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm using his laptop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when he came to Kenya, he left me his laptop.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Yeah, I've joined with the laptop because I'm using Wi-Fi, and I've seen you've sent $100. Thank you very much. We will use it for internet. We have been struggling here. I've been saving up. I've not been even texting as much as I was doing. Yeah. Because of the videos and the pictures that we want to send, and using the story that you told us to do.
Yeah.
So we have been having a real struggle because I give out my laptop. They go. We use it for design. We also use it for compiling the videos, and now at least we'll be able to send some of what we have done so far.
So
can you see me?
I can.
Yeah.
You know when you said your contract was $25 for 25 gig? Yeah.
Pardon?
You said before your contract was $25 for 25 gig.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, how do contracts work? Is that the best? Is that the cheapest sort of data? How good is the data connection you get? Where you are, from where the community is.
Because of the location, the remote location, we really have a problem. Yeah. But the one I'm using is favorably better, because now with the 25 GB, for around 2,000 Kenya shillings, I use it for personal use. For example, because we also record using some online software, so I mostly use it for my music personal use. And now when this project came, I started juggling in between, using it. So that's why I've not even been doing as much music as I used to, because of that. I have to share the internet, but now it's been because of the intents of the designs and the printing and the sampling. I had to make a choice that, let me leave it for now. Let me leave the personal consumption and everything, so that we can have the project at least have some work going on around it. So I think, I don't know if you can see some of what I'm holding now.
Yeah. So I was going to say, what I was going to suggest is the following, that I can help the community with 2,000 shillings a month to get some sort of data and connections, as you're describing, because I think for what we want to do, for what they want to do, they need it. And in return, what they can do is to help with the technical team, help us with trying to promote the things that give us joy, and the things we're doing, and to represent yourselves and advertise that, because that helps us along and other communities along, to help bring them together and see how that goes in that way. And I think if that's a way in which they can actually tell their story better. And
also
the technical group that you have a chance to put themselves on the map.
Yeah.
So it becomes they can, and hopefully if they can help us do the things that give us joy inside, it's like do it as an advertising piece,
Yeah.
And maybe it's a way to get other, kind of other use it so they can showcase their skills to bring in other people who pay them for the services and do things. And do you know what I mean? Because they need something to show this is how great we can do.
True. And that's what there is a lot of video work that has been continuing, and I will be able to send some few tomorrow from tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So that you can see you can also try and guide us on how to construct the story better.
Yes. You want
tomorrow.
So one thing at a time. So does that work for you?
The stories.
No, the data. What I'm suggesting.
It works. It works from a point of 2,000 for the data, but with the kind of work, for example, like I've been shelving off my personal works, that the data that personally I use can be used for whatever reason. Pertaining the project. There is another better package that is relatively even cheaper, and it can allow other things to, because, for example, the technical team, there are a lot of guys with some IT, and I believe that with some data they can be able even to research more. There is the students, the ones that for pyrolysis, we can be able to have them also use some of it for more research about it. There is another better one that costs that 3,500, and it is 70 GB. So that one will give us also room for extensions and other things that we can be able to do, and like research more. That will be better, because this one for personal use, for example, it's a hotspot that I create, but that one is more of like there is another portable device that you can get, like a MiFi, so that will be better.
Okay, do you want to go and talk to the people? Yeah. Because I think
Yeah.
it's important that these are their decisions and not just our
Yeah.
decisions in that way.
Yeah, I will.
We can think
I
of
will.
what
I will
they do.
talk to them, but I will talk to. I will talk to them today in the evening. I'm having a small meeting with them. Yesterday, as I told you, I was in a public transport.
Yeah.
I had gone to collect my camera.
Yes. You got it back.
Yeah, I got it back. I managed to pay the 8,000 from. I took another loan for 6,000 and plus 2,000 savings that I took, so that we can have the camera also, because there are some kids that are really talented and I wanted to shoot a video with them.
What's the interest on these loans?
Yeah.
What's the interest rate on these loans?
No, it's a personal loan.
So how much interest is charged?
It doesn't have an interest. What happened is my cousin came to see what I was doing, and I requested him. So it's more of like, I'll just return the 6,000. Nothing to add on that. It's from family.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, because you have a loan shark who comes at you with a baseball bat and
yeah. I don't take loans that I can't pay back.
Yeah.
Because it's really difficult, like also the economy in Kenya right now is tricky. I believe we are on I don't know what it is at the moment. Businesses are down like crazy at this time.
It's the same everywhere. It's especially the smaller businesses.
Yeah.
I think that because they have no real room, so it's this really tricky thing, and but that's where being able to have the different aspects together is really helpful. So if you talk with the people, and I think like you say, different contract may be better, have them think about that. But what we want to do out of it is to say, if we provide that, can you help us then with the technology and things? But do it as a showcase.
Yeah.
As a way to showcase, because if you go to the different places around the world that present it, and different things, then it can be like showcasing what they can do, and says, that there should be a part of it that ends up being, we can do the following for you for so much or whatever.
Sure.
So it's a way to bring in potentially people who are looking for, get the technical group on the map. They're capable, they can do things, and they can be imaginative about it. And if they're people with sort of artistic talents, design ideas,
sure,
make it stand out.
Yeah, we will. Also another development that is happening at the moment, which is I don't know if it's interesting, but
and by the way, I mean, just to complete that, I mean more than usually on the website. When you go to the bottom, it says made by brands by, made by whatever it is, and so on. I want this to be quite different, so that it's actually very much in the front. Because usually when you go to a website, the people who produce it use it to advertise only on the tiny bottom thing. But actually, we want it to be the whole, to tell your story, so that it is as part of it all. So it's not like a tiny little label, but it's so it's clear to people.
Yeah.
Aspect of it, and I think that's kind of what I have in mind as such. Yeah. It's about livelihoods, about bringing together, it's about showcasing what people can do, and actually saying, we all need to support each other.
Right.
Okay, sorry, I interrupted you.
Mm-hmm. No, it's okay. I was saying there is an interesting that what is it called? Something interesting that is happening within our community now. since the town hall meeting, we bought the meter. We got the, as you can see, packaging.
Okay.
As you can see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you able? Did you understand my comments?
Yeah.
Did you understand what I meant? It's the way those videos and some of those things are. Again,
Yeah,
what I'm emphasizing is if you
the story.
If you do that kind of reflective exercise.
Yeah.
To appreciate how far you've gone. And that's
yeah, that's where I was headed with my statement.
Yeah.
All right. So I was saying there is an interesting development. This is from the individual lives of the people that are involved with what we are doing, not from the community perspective. The individuals are like, all right, if we have been able to do this far, then that means that small tiny project that I have been having for my own personal growth, and I was not sure about it. I didn't know if it was possible. I think now I can be able to do it because I've seen like nothing is as difficult, because with the community we have transcended a lot of like moments that were uncertain, moments that and in these moments are the times that we were able to redefine our future. So the individuals, the people I'm speaking to, Christine, Kamau, they're like, okay, this is something that, for example, Christine has done purchase and supplies, and she has she's a nice cook, that's for sure, because when we are having our own production, she comes with some food given by her husband to support the people in the production as she does her own thing. She cooks really nice food, and there was a time she was telling me she had begun a small business, and she gave up because of the the problems that were there. And it's not that it needs a lot of money, because her husband can $10 is enough to buy rice, to buy small things that she can be able to cook and sell and get some livelihood. So she was telling me, if we have been able to do this from something uncertain, what about something that I gave up on and I was quite sure, or it's quite sure that it can really work? So this is not only this is an eye opener, and those are the stories that we have been able to capture so far, and I'll be able to send from tomorrow. For example, Halisi Youth Ventures, they are now confident enough to go out and say, you know what, we are from Mathare. And what is making them so confident about it is not because that Mathare has all of a sudden gotten some skyscrapers, or all of a sudden gotten some nice roads or enforced security. It's because now they have something that they can present, and it's not there. So it's a very touching story, and I'd like to see the end of it in terms of not even the end of it, but how will it transform. Right now we are at a balance where we have to work as a team. For example, we have to pull together our heads, and if it's an idea, we work on it together. If it's a breakthrough, we celebrate together. Because I was talking to a guy, and he was telling me, I've been traveling around and trying to get some small advices from here and there, because no one has monopoly of ideas and everything. And some guy was telling me the tragedy of something with a community is when celebration starts to look personal, when failure starts to look personal. Yes. When breakthroughs start to look personal, then that's when now people start to pull away. But if you celebrate it together, you cry together, you get happy together. Those are the little things that make us joy, that we have been able to discover so far.
That's really, really good, and I think that's so much more exactly the thing to put into showcasing, and the part I have here is, your story, we were talking another case with Kaka, and this is about the the cleanup they have and those sort of things. And one of the people that I think it was Charles Mayansi, I don't know if you know him or something, and he was talking about how what I was talking about in terms of what they can do and kind of effectively as a story. They can go to the international schools in Kenya, sort of, because and there's a lot of efforts on their part to connect with communities and those sort of things. And they do trips and stuff, and you can actually end up, organizing an educational trip or something like that. And you can tell your stories, organize it. You can use it as a way actually to invite people along and learn the story. And as a way of how we're going to face the challenges we see in front of us. And the power of your story is very much linked to comments you just made, which is businesses are having difficulties. But your stories, it says, actually, you can always find something. And you come together, and it is not just about me taking the credit or you taking the credit, but recognizing that we are together. We can face a lot of those things. And that has a lot of space to go. So in terms of back to the comment I was making about the technology team and that sort of thing, is actually I'm hoping they can help to tell their stories around the world. And it then changes the whole shape of who you are and where you are. And the last thing you said is really important, because it's not about how one person takes the credit. It is about how the whole community becomes a community that's bridging out as well.
True.
And if it works, because no one is the one who says it's my idea, whatever. If it doesn't work, it's already opening up other opportunities, other ideas. So I'm sure that huge amount we can do, as we talked before, just simply, I was thinking, just thinking about the sun, and I'm pretty sure just a bit of silver metal shining down onto a metal plate would heat your chicken feces to 80 degrees.
Yeah.
In the sun. You don't need anything else to heat it in that way. You can put some more technology around it. I'm sure you can cook on it, or you can create an air fryer and do that sort of thing. And so you can do a lot of the stuff, and you can probably, I was looking up steam engine needs 200 degrees. You can get water to steam to that temperature, probably, again, in simple ways. So there are the sort of innovation side, but there is also the other part, which is what you're showing in those tubes and stuff, which is kind of the storytelling, the art that comes with it, that also it's needed to reach. So it's not just about those things, because we need those other parts, right? Storytelling is a tradition.
Yeah.
And so there's all of that too. So I think absolutely, and the reflection exercise I sent along was something I found useful, because it helps to think in a way that's not trying to. It helps to think what actually happened without trying to make any judgmental statements on whether it was good or bad.
True.
Just stating what it was, what were the feelings, how did people feel, what were the problems, how do we feel about the problems, without actually saying whether it's good or bad, without saying we have to solve or don't solve.
Sure.
And allow us to go through that whole thing first. And then think, where are we now? Where have we gone? What does that tell? How do we feel about it? And that's important, because otherwise it becomes like always trying to solve a problem. And when you think of it as always trying to solve a problem, you end up thinking one person is more important than the other.
True.
And that's where you get into the problems that, someone then says, oh, I contributed so much, or whatever it is.
True. Which is the tragedy of or something that can really try can really pull us down, but we have mitigated that, and and I've told them
it's important to be aware, because I've been in startups, I've been in funds where we've worked together for 5-6 years really hard, all of us, and then we start making money, and then everybody breaks apart, and we start over who deserves more.
True.
So all of this is to help us reflect and be aware and think about all those things first and plan for saying, actually, we'd like that in that way. And that's why, in terms of the way we were talking about, in terms of a quarter, is this part where it's clear, you can have it so that one person takes 3/4 of it or whatever, but still some goes back.
True.
Some always has to go back to the community.
Yeah.
And some goes back to kind of the source of to help other communities and other parts. And I think that from our side is an important element to bring along, especially as they start looking up and make sure that it's recognized, because without it, I've been in places where people felt very hard done by because they felt that they didn't get enough and all the rest of it and so on. And it goes into this bit where if this works in that way along, then stories like Christine and things she could have done and so on, then there can be a force that may help a little bit. It may be just, a small amount that can help and get things going, and that makes it possible. So I'm really, really positive in hearing what you're describing. Richard, you've gone all quiet.
No, I'm here. I'm not quiet. I'm listening with interest.
So yeah, it'll be great to see what you did there and to understand about that exercise along. I think I want to have something to be able to talk to people about, and we can help put that together. And also that you can show people when you go, is it on the 3rd, when you go to the UN place?
It's actually, it was today is around 20, today is 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The conference was beginning at 27th as I had earlier indicated.
Yeah, on Monday.
But but we spoke to the one who was convening, and she said that we should go tomorrow or Friday. So we are choosing on Friday.
Yeah.
In the morning, so that in the afternoon we can join Kaka at his cleanup.
Yes.
And we can talk more. What I was asking, does Kaka have any banners, or
he's making some along? So get in touch with him about it. He does
I will.
Made some, but we had talked yesterday with people about the cleanup, and we were saying about how to. I'll send you a link of a conversation we had. We recorded along, and then you can see what we were saying. But what we were saying was that, again, the economics matter, and again, it's a case of looking at it and being able to look at it and think, what can I do with the rubbish?
Sure.
And recognizing that actually maybe it's not rubbish, and maybe there are different things. So working to reach into the community again and think, actually, what may help, what sort of things may enable them. And part of that might be recognizing, why do they have these things that becomes rubbish? And there might actually be other opportunities and other commerce and other sort of an economics that comes out from what they are.
Sure.
The example we talked to Tata about.
There is also something like, yeah.
Carry on. You're saying, yeah.
Oh, there is something that is also developing. There is a friend of mine from Uganda.
Yeah.
He is having quote unquote like a mini climate change conference with the youth.
You're breaking up, Morris. I'm sorry.
And now?
Now you're clear again. So
yeah, now you're back.
Yep. Your friend.
All right. I was saying, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yep.
hear you fine.
All right. I was saying there is a friend of mine from Uganda. He's creating a climate change conference probably on March 17th.
Yep.
And he was really interested of what we are doing. And he was inviting me to do a talk about things that things that make joy. He was also inviting you guys to make like an opening of that conference with the youth in Uganda. So there is that discussion that I will be sharing soon once it materializes, because it is subject to he's still in the planning phase, and I just wanted to notify you earlier that very soon we will be going. Yeah.
You know, on the things that give us joy chat in WhatsApp, we put in a link about bit.ly/the things that give us joy.
Yeah.
So bit.ly/the things that give us joy. So it's a video. Might be easy if you download it so you keep it with you around rather than keep drawing bandwidth in that way.
Sure.
But it's we're going to make a revision to it. Richard and I are just doing that so that we say it better. But it's what we want people to do with putting a lid on climate change. So
right.
All of these things, what we want to do is to get people to be able to recognize we can do things to help ourselves.
Sure.
Because we can do things to help ourselves, we can all come together and actually take over the oil, gas, and coal companies and put a lid on climate change.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, oops, I think, yeah, he's still there. Yeah. So that's a very sort of bold aspect of it.
Yeah. So I will join him in the chat.
Yep.
I'll make sure he joins the chat so that he can also tell us more about what he's planning in Uganda.
Yes. Yeah.
So that we can know how we will engage. Otherwise, the sampling of the lip balm went on complete. It was successful. There was some little feedback on the texture.
Yes.
Okay.
The people that we sent over for sampling, they were saying that we make it a little bit harder. So we went into production again. We made it more harder, and then now we already have 70 pieces complete with the preference that the sampling guys told us. And yesterday and today, the Halisi Youth Ventures, we first took 3 people, gave them 20 pieces each. That is 60 pieces. We were left with 10 pieces on our side, and they will be giving us a report today in the evening on how the sales were. And I got a message yesterday that there are some sales that were done, though of course because it was based on the mode of sampling that we took. There was a referral. There was a referral question that we were giving the people that were sampling. We were asking them, is this a product that you could refer to one of your close members to buy? And if yes, please send us your contact. So that's what the Halisi Youth Ventures took those referral numbers and called them and delivered to them as a beginning of sales, because that was easier. So I think by today evening they would have given us what were the sales looking like. I really don't want to keep on calling them and all that.
No. There's no need to hassle them, but you need some
well,
some
actually,
form of keeping track.
What you want is not in order not to hassle them as such. What you want is a way so that you have a way to regularly report as such.
Exactly.
You need to do that, because what we used to do, give you a clue as such, right? Is, you know, we always had when I was working what we used to do was to we used to do kind of like a end of day very short summary, basically. And again, this is where the technology, whatever, can help. You know, sort of when I was in an investment trading fund, you know, it would be, you know, today P&L, how much made loss, color, people said this or said that, you know, any other thing of interest, like, you know, it was great, terrible, felt good, whatever. So almost just something simply like that. You know, so 5 units made $10 of this, made $10 or 10 shillings or something. And then, you know, some color, you know, this market, brilliant, loved the young people, loved it, kind of thing. You know, men bought it today for their girlfriends or for themselves or whatever. And then any other thing that came back and say, people ask whether we have pineapple, you know.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? So
I
do those things, and you have them do that as part of what you want them to do when they do this. Yeah. And it might be, didn't go out today, didn't feel like it, you know, didn't have the energy.
Sure.
So if there's nothing there, that is not an empty thing, but it's just simply too busy, didn't go out.
Yeah.
So there's no sort of sense that you need to justify why anything didn't happen or happened.
Sure.
And we always have those. You know, my friend would be saying, you know, lost so much today, bad day. You know, gonna go and cry now. And Richard would tell you all about those days too.
No, but that's really, really important, right? So
it's very important you have that.
You want to have a structure, so it's not necessarily automated, but you want it with the same frequency, so you don't need to chase people. They are coming into you when you basically only assemble the results. So you can keep track of it all the time, because then you can react quickly when you see something happening.
Sure. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hear you fine, Maurice.
Oh, yeah. I was saying, you know, with the marketing structure that we took, where Halisi Ventures is somehow an independent structure within our arrangement. I really wanted them to feel like this is their product. I really didn't want them to feel like something that is a force behind what they are doing. We have categorically spoken to them, and we have told them, as a community, we believe that this could be their chance to, you know, to learn a lot of things, and, you know, someone can even go and craft the ideas, because they're interacting with people who are in buying cosmetics. So someone can get his own ideas also there and can bring us. We make the product better, or we make the project a little bit more viable. And also at the same time, we told them, because yesterday it was only taking the product to the referrals.
Academics, transformational ownership. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying yesterday was only for the referrals. Today was the day that people are going to the market, and it's around 2:51. So by around 5, they will be here and they will be telling us how the market looks like and everything. So that most of them are not on WhatsApp. Most of them are on regular calls. So we agree that every day at the end of every day we have a sit down and we discuss and see. So we scaled down on the initial plan to do the 100 pieces. One of the reasons was we really wanted to extend the sampling. We created the 70 pieces as the sampling phase 2. Sampling phase 1 was for 30 pieces, and we got some feedback that really assisted with the products. So we went into the sampling phase 2, where we created the 70 pieces, and we believe that we will be getting, when we get the feedback, we resume production and make another batch of 70 pieces that's better. So instead of like creating like 150 pieces all at once and with the same quality, we keep on improving.
Yes, that's a really good plan. Take it in steps. And
and
now that you have chance for people to come back together each day and kind of report, brainstorm, and such. Record, just kind of keep a record of those things, either recorded or whatever it is, or someone take notes or someone take minutes or whatever it is, just so that again, when you go back in a couple of weeks, you can reflect back and say that's what it is. And when they come and report, do it with what I was suggesting there. Have some standard bit that just comes along. This is that. This is this. This happened today in that way, and then you have room for the other adjustments that you have, other things that goes on. Otherwise, what happens is you will inevitably end up focusing on sort of the big event of the day.
True.
But you lose track of the steady stream of progress you make. And the big event of the day often are problems. So you end up this view that everything is a problem, and you lose track of the steady stream of progress you make.
True.
So have that along. That's very important that is tracked. I mean, Richard is fantastic at tracking, kind of being disciplined. I think that's from 30 years of every morning you go in, you check where you start, you check where you end at the end of the day.
No, it's incredibly important what David is describing, that where you are, you cannot chase this at the moments when you have time, because then you get an incomplete picture. You need to have a way that all the people around you that are involved report back to you, and they do it in a systematic fashion. So you said 5 o'clock today, they come back. Then it's like 5 o'clock every day, you want a report from everyone, so you know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because you should not be chasing them at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or 7 o'clock. It's like,
and ideally what you want is that they do that whether you're there or not.
Exactly. Because you might not actually always be available,
And what you want is that someone within the community, they begin to be part of that. So if you look at a business, there's kind of like an operational part, and there's kind of like a finance part, and so on. And they get all these information together, and it helps the whole thing comes back. So the next time you have like a town hall, everybody then sees this is where it is, this is the progress along. That's where all the web analytics and everything is all about.
And also what I actually do is it was suggested by one of the community members. Is like I don't receive the reports. What I do is I facilitate the teams to talk to each other, not at each other, to talk to each other. So now it's not like I take the reports of what the sampling was like and I take it to the production. No, they happen real time. They come, they talk to the production, like this is what the customer said. I just facilitate that talking, making sure that people understand each other, and making sure that what the resolutions that they passed, at least they come to fulfillment. So it's a pretty not easy, but I decided to take it easy, because if like I was having like 5 meetings a day of first the production team, then second to the youth ventures, and then that will not be really good. People will feel like I'm bulldozing. But now with the facilitating, people talking together, it also becomes fascinating, because the production team will like, so is there a way that we can make it harder? And then now you can find someone else with an idea, and they'll say, yeah, we can do this and this and improve on this and this. And as opposed to me just receiving and telling the production team, yeah, I want it harder. I don't want to know what you're gonna do to make it harder, but I want it harder. So people talk to each other. Solutions come when people talk to each other, and problems, we discuss them together. And then someone writes a report on how was the response on each team, so that we can also be able to track, how people are working together, and just making sure that this thing works.
I think that's exactly right, and as a guide to that, and where this goes to next, and as you go on Friday to talk to other people and so on, is that you become the person who helps now other places that may be interested as to how they can start.
So
the best way to allow a team, a community that's developing and going on and progressing along without staying involved, but giving them that space for them to actually grow and develop, is we end up taking on the task that we are both suited for in that way. And I think that's where that comes in. So what you're describing, I think, fits within that sort of picture, within that, and I think that's really, really good thing, because for yourself, if you do that reflective exercise, you can end up with saying, okay, how do I feel about where I am now? How do I feel about how this has been? How do I feel about where I am now? And then that will help you to sort of see, how do I see my own path ahead?
True.
So that's really, really useful. I'm going to ask if we can just halt it for now, because what I want to do is we have half an hour between Richard and I before we have another call, and we were hoping to complete the recording we wanted to do and give it another go. So that gives us a bit of time to try that. Are you okay if we just pause this for now, and then we'll come back on another time? I'm
okay. I'm okay with that.
Good, Maurice.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Important, like we said, right? Get the information back in a systematic fashion, even if you're not there.
Yeah.
Get them to get used to thinking every day there's a report about, if effectively, in a trading perspective, which is what this sort of is. I'm sure the same with your ice cream thing. I'm sure every day you want to know.
Absolutely, you want to know.
What was it that happened? What is that? And if you just jot those things down, then over time you see the picture. And if you only write down the big things, they're usually problems, and then you only see problems, but you don't see the whole thing.
Outcome, yeah.
So you need to kind of have that practice. They need to develop that sort of practice and appreciate that if they are going to actually create a livelihood out of doing this, there is that basic everyday work that accompanies it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to take much time. It should be very, very simple. So you can help them to think, what are the three things you want them to report. The first is obviously how much you sold, how much you made, how much you lost, made or lost. something about what the overall market condition is.
Yeah.
If everybody came by and said, we got no money, it's too much or whatever, then the pricing may be wrong or whatever it is, you get that sense. And then you have that thing, so that's the color of the market. And then you have the sense of actually what are the other bits that you saw, which might be interesting opportunities or otherwise.
For product development, etc. But it's really important that it's just not a static number. You want them to report back and say, you know what, people have no money, or people are buying this instead. Why are they buying this instead? Then you can start those questions.
Yeah, and to do so even on the day where you're not there, you didn't do anything, just to be didn't do anything. So it's not about reporting successes, it's about reporting everything as it is, without any judgment, without any kind of blame or anything associated with it.
Yeah.
It's just purely factual. This is just how the day was. The sun came up, it went down. It's literally like that. Sun came up, it went down.
Exactly.
All right. I'll take that into consideration. Then thank you very much for the guidance. We will continue putting everything, making sure that at least the time that each one of us spends is not only accounted for, but it's enjoyed.
Yes, it's enjoyed. Yeah, it's very important. It's really, do it because it gives you joy. Somehow it helps you do that. It's okay. All right. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. Richard, you and I guess we should.
Yeah, I need to get changed. I'm going to put on a suit and tie for the recording.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. Enjoy your changing.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Morris.
Yeah.